Hello and welcome to the Stubzcast. Number 3, the Content Creator Hub podcast, where I talk to other content creators from YouTube, bloggers, vloggers, anyone who's deemed a content creator. It's about sharing knowledge and creator stories and sharing tips and tricks. I'd like to thank everyone who's supported the show so far on live or on demand on podcast networks. We're now available in podcast forms on Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts, etc. I'd like to welcome this week's guest, MaskedMayhemUK. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me on, Stubzy. Yeah, Max, by the way, masked.
Sorry, I had to make a mistake with the problems I had tonight.
Don't worry.
But at least we got going tonight.
Hey, Ben, dude.
Yeah, but all right. You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. I've been just been playing games really and working.
You do a lot of work, and you do.
I work a lot. Yeah, I do. Can you hear me all right? I'm just checking that everything's okay. There you go.
I can. I don't know whether chat can. I presumably can. So, right. Do you want to say a bit about yourself?
Yeah, I can do. So, hello everybody. I'm Masked Mayhem. I don't know. What do you want to know? What do you want to know? Ask me questions, Stubbsy.
Oh, well.
It is your show after all, isn't it?
Definitely. Right. Right. We all know, well, we don't know, you're the owner of a website called bg4ghub.com, a gaming website.
Yep, that's right.
I'm not saying everyone will know because it's on podcast networks. What was the premise and the catalyst for the website?
Originally, it was a discussion and an idea that was bounced around between myself and Elite Gaming Guru. We worked together for a short while, and we were discussing the issues with. Well, we were talking about the whole thing of review sites and how they were either one-sided or, they were scoring for. Because they were getting paid to do something. We just wanted to do something different initially. And then it kind of developed. It was like this catalyst kicked in where we kind of wanted the website to be more like for the community, so the actual gamers. So what's that? Ask the question, God damn it. Thanks, Dazzy. So it evolved into actually getting a load of content creators that were gamers themselves. The people who play the games are the ones who do the reviews, and that's how it kind of developed into what it is now.
Yeah, you've done quite a good job forming a great selection of content creators so far.
Oh, I hope so. You're one of them.
I know. I know. Exactly.
That's it. Big yourself up, mate. Big yourself up.
Gears. I'm joking.
Gears. you had to put it in. You had to, didn't you? You had to say the word gears.
Had to. Right. Oh, actually, something else now. Do you want to go into why you personally wanted to get into content creation?
Why I wanted to get into content creation. I've done bits and bobs really for quite a while. I put it to one side for a bit because work and everything. Like on my page, it's got I'm a king of fad. So I have this, I don't know if you'd call it a curse or this knack of basically I'll get really interested into something, I'll learn it, and I'll try and do the best I can with it for my own entertainment. And then most of the times I get bored and I leave it. But, I carry that kind of what I've learned further on in life and use it later on.
Okay.
And content creation has always been. So one of the things some people don't really realize is that one of my jobs a long time ago was I was a makeup artist for TV, film and stage.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. So did that for a while and on and off. It's kind of in that industry, it's who you know, not what you know. I learned a load of stuff from it and did a number of different little films in the indies, helped on some bigger ones as well. And the industry is quite cutthroat, so you end up working long hours, and I decided to give it up and do something, get a proper job, as someone says. So yeah, I'm a king of fad. I go through different things. I learn something, I move on to the next, and then I use it later on. The one thing that's always stuck with me, though, has been, playing games, making content, and being visual with stuff. I'm very artistic, obviously. So, well, I hope I am anyway.
You are definitely. You made the Stubzcast logo and the banner and all my intro and outros. Well, thank you for that. I do.
That's all right. Just a minute. So yeah, so the content I create, I did it for a while under a different name, and then from there I kind of left YouTube for a while, and then started the site. So I started back up on YouTube and doing. I mean, my channel at the moment is nowhere near anything like you guys create, because it's kind of morphed into me doing little intros for people like yourself. And other people, and making some visuals and banners and doing more the art side of things. So my YouTube channel only has about 4 videos, and I think the last one I put on was like March 2019. I think it was the last one.
World War Z, wasn't it?
Yeah, World War Z. It was an impromptu, just a quick off on the fly kind of review of the game. It literally just been dropped, and I started it up and just babbled into a microphone like I'm doing now.
Well, it was good. Also, though, you've got a video, you didn't talk on it, on the BG4G hub of Ink. I'm not saying it. Ink event in London you went to.
Oh, yes. Yeah. That was another one. I mean, like, yeah, so I've done 1 or 2. I was just trying something different, like almost like a vlog, but a little cut through. I think the other one I've done as well, which was on the BG4G channel, which we created for the site, was the xCloud first kind of snippets. Have a look, and that was when it first come out as well.
I did actually enjoy them. They're very well put together.
Oh, thank you very much.
You have got more content coming out, though. I'm still awaiting the explanation of what game did I ask for.
Oh yes, so
Dragon Ball Z. The difference between Dragon Ball Z.
Do you know what? I was actually working on it a bit more today, just this morning.
I knew went and asked the developer.
That's right. Yes.
To know.
That's right. Yeah. So you said, if I remember the question correctly, when it was coming out, you said it's no different from Jump Force. They're the same game, aren't they? So I said, no, they're a different game, Stubsy. And if that's what you're doing, I will go and ask them at EGX. And I did, and I recorded it. But the issue is that obviously my setup for going like that type of thing isn't great. So there's a lot of background noise. So that's what I'm working on at the moment, is taking the background noise out of it. And hopefully it should be done and I can drop it. But, life gets in the way. So it's been a long time coming, obviously, getting these videos out. That's why I say I don't have much on my channel.
Exactly. You will get there because you're a busy man, Life, as they say, life gets in the way,
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, I'm just having a drink.
So obviously, with you saying you learn quite a lot of stuff, was there a massive learning curve, as I would imagine there would have been, with learning WordPress, and has it been easy? Because WordPress looks quite scary to me. Obviously, with building the website, you've done most of it yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah, I did get a theme. I'll be honest, you can buy themes and you can get themes. So initially when I set it up, it was a theme, but I started messing around with it and working with other people. It wasn't really much of a learning curve. I mean, people shouldn't really be scared of WordPress. WordPress was designed for anybody to literally start up a page. It's slightly different. My background, I've done 1 or 2 web pages in what they call HTML using an old program called Dreamweaver. And actually writing some code. I'm not fantastic at it, but they used to have a very, very basic drag and drop in there. WordPress, well, people say, it's really hard. You've got to understand it. You can learn it quite quickly. Imagine that WordPress is based on Microsoft Word. So that's why it's called WordPress. So the idea is that if you treat the actual premise that whatever you're creating is a Word document initially, that's where you can start moving on into how it designs. Yes, there is a lot more later on to learn about, your widgets, plugins. There's so many plugins you can use. Just there's so many bits you can do, and it is quite easy to pick up. So, it's not that difficult. I thought about this one it was quick and simple to get it in onto the web page, and then get the web page based and set up so that I could get other people in with their content so they could share their content, and it wasn't too daunting. I mean,
Okay.
when you originally when you came on and I said, this is how you do your review on our site, and sent you a little video of how to do it, it was quite easy to pick up, wasn't it?
It was, because I wouldn't imagine, say you work for a big gaming site, yeah? I wouldn't have thought they would send you a little video of, this is how you upload it. They'd expect them to know, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Which the little videos you've made, if you were to, if you 11 little bits there, I'd imagine that's how you run. You could, how you put it, they're quite short but informative. And if that was, say, how most websites worked, which they probably don't, you could make a good channel out of that.
Yeah, no, most websites don't work like that though. So that's the thing. If I'd done it in, if I had made it in HTML code and whatever, I would have to literally teach all of you how to do coding to put that on the site, or develop something where you could put it in and predominantly turn it around so that you would use WordPress. So it'd be just turning around. So yeah, going too technical in it, and that's one of my downfalls, is I get too technical and ramble on a bit. So
it's a good, well put together site. I mean, the first I did struggle with it, but your little videos they helped me no end.
Yeah,
once you've learned it, it's basically rinse and repeat and keep remembering it.
Yeah,
and try and improve the wording and how it looks, and you do stuff, because it always asks me to get plugins, and I'll be honest, I don't know what it's on about.
What do you mean it asks you to get plugins?
It does say there is more plugins available for this. I don't know what it means. I don't know.
Oh, it's probably because you're going on it. Yeah, you ignore that bit. That's what I've said before. But the sections that you work with, everyone that's come on to the site and are content creators, just going back to, the site was developed originally to be a review, and it's done by gamers. But the background of it was that it was to promote the small content creator and the gamer themselves. So, it's, you go to the site, you read the review, you have a look at the video, you click the video, but the views go through to the person who created the review. It's not for the BG4G. And we're kind of looking at it and changing it around a bit more now. So I've lost where I was going. See, ramble.
That's fine. It's all to do with content curation. That's why this podcast was developed. As to be honest, a lot of the podcasts on YouTube, they're all a lot of the gaming shows. They talk about the same stuff. So I thought Tom came up with this idea, and I went with it.
Yeah,
I mean.
That's the other thing, isn't it? It's developed to the point where we're kind of this little group of content creators. We all have a chat. We all talk about what we're going to review. If we can get some review codes in, we'll get review codes in. If not, it's what you've already got, and it's what games you want to do, and it's first come, first serve. And it's just like we all bounce off each other and we create something. I'm always in the background doing the web page, updating it, doing the plugins, having a look, and then we have their meetings, don't we? So we sit, and it's not like I turn around and say, right, this is what we're doing, this is how we're going to do it, and you've got to do it this way. It's right, okay, we're having a meeting, we're going to sit down, we'll be on Skype, or we'll be on WhatsApp, or whatever it is, and we'll just chat about it, and everyone comes with their ideas, and then we'll discuss what's going on the site. And I think that's what keeps it organic on the site as well.
It is. It just feels like more of a community.
That's what I wanted it to be.
Not rather than the head honchos or you must do this. It's not like that.
No, we have. I mean, we have a. It went on later on, so we have 4 of us that are kind of. I've got a little DM for us, and it's called the Big Cheeses. So I've got 4 of us. Yeah, so there's 4 of us. that are kind of the bigger ones that are overall kind of coming up with some other ideas or looking how we're going to do it, or whether we have to change anything or do anything. And then that then goes to the next meeting where everybody as a creator comes up with their ideas and we will discuss it. So we've got a little bit of an agenda before we come into the discussions, if that makes sense. It probably sounds really horrible saying it that way, but it's not. It's the idea is that I've got 4 of us that all decide about the website, and what we may want or we may not, and then we roll that out to everybody else, and everyone else says, yeah, that's great, no, that's crap, or so on and so forth. We always do something different.
Well, it's good because it's structured then, because otherwise a lot of time when we talk it goes off topic. We could talk about all sorts in the meeting.
We do as well.
It veers off course anyway, but at least there is an actual structure, and normally it's Tom that brings it round back to the topic.
Yeah, well, secretly, see, me and Tom have a conversation, and it's kind of like Tom is amazing. I have to put that, originally it was I'd been invited. So my first, if I went through the content creation as well, so bringing it still into the whole topic, one of the first things coming back into YouTube and whatever, I was invited on, and this is what kicked off everything else. The first thing I was invited on as a guest onto Respawn podcast with Tyrus and Tom, and that was my first ever podcast, first ever one.
I think I listened to that.
Yeah, we were on there
because I didn't know you at the time.
No, that's right. And that was the first ever one I'd been on, and it was kind of like when I started the site with Elite and we started working, it was kind of like I want to bring some other people in and who they'd be interested, and Tom and Tyrus were the first 2 I went to. And I said, look, I wanted to say thank you for having me on the podcast. This is my idea. If you're interested in it, then do you want to come and join? That's great. They said, yeah, they'd be interested in it. And then we rolled it out to loads of other different people to see who was interested in it. It got a bit, it was over the top to start with. We were saying that we would have an NDA, so non-disclosure agreement. There was this delusions of grandeur that it was going to be this amazing thing that was going to make millions of money straight away. But that was where it was wrong, because I didn't think that way. So it was kind of like, no, I just wanted it to be, I'm telling you an idea I've got or we've got. I don't want you sharing it with anyone yet until it's kind of come to fruition and we're actually running, so that someone else goes, I made it first, kind of thing.
Yeah, because I remember back then, how I got into Respawn was I used to talk to, I think it was just Tyrus in the comments of his videos.
Yeah.
And then eventually on Twitter and he added me. I got invited to Respawn podcast, but I couldn't make it. And I got in a DM, and then eventually I followed. What intrigued me for quite a while was you and Elite kept saying there's something coming. Like,
that's right, yeah.
And then I think I followed you on Twitter, on the BG4G Hub Twitter, and you said, all right, mate, it's Mast here. I might have a proposal for you in the future. Take care, And that intrigued me even more. And then eventually you asked me. And I wasn't sure at first, because I thought, I'm not sure if I can do that, but you had the faith in me to actually ask me and think I could do it, which I thought was great,
Yeah.
I don't pump out videos that often, but I'm trying to pump out videos once a week, every Thursday on the BG4G channel. That's next week. Now the computer's working and all that,
Yeah, and going back to it as well, like Tom and Tyrus have been amazing, so they've become, on in the top kind of 4. It's really hard saying top 4. It's just they've helped me so much with the site, and Tom is really eager and really keen about it, and he does so much, and he doesn't rate 4. Yeah, there's 4.
Ah, you confuse me now.
Who do you think is in the 4? I've already mentioned 2.
Well, I thought it was Tyrus, Tom, and you.
Well, there's a 4.
Elite left.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Yeah, unfortunate separation.
But
creative
still
differences.
It's all good.
Yeah, we do. I haven't spoken to him in a while. Actually, he's been quite quiet. I know he's been doing his own videos but they seem to be series based on YouTube. But he's not on Twitter anymore. He doesn't do much anymore, so I haven't really spoken to him much. But yes, there's 4 of us.
I don't know.
Well, obviously, you know the fourth person because he's in the group, but you don't know who it is.
Does
no? You're going to go through everybody, aren't you?
Centurion?
No. Do I need to name it? Because otherwise, you're going to name everybody in the group, which is probably a good plug for everybody.
I don't know, really. Who's the fourth one?
Jeepers Review.
That makes sense.
That
makes sense because he's so invested in something, which is good.
And that's the point. You see, he's heavily invested.
But I never, because he goes deep into analytics. He does. You know, I can look at them, but he really goes in and looks.
Bizzles.
Pizzles.
Lol.
He always calls him Pizzles, doesn't he? He does.
It is Bizzles.
Oh, it is. Yeah. It is. Yeah. No, I honestly thought. I didn't know there was 4 till you just said that. But no,
yeah, we originally wanted it.
Good choice there. You made a good choice there, you have.
Well, we offered because he'd invested so much, if you know what I mean, and it was refreshing. Not saying that you guys, that's probably sounding really bad, but I meant that it was refreshing that everybody in there is so keen to do something, and he came in with a fresh look at it, and yeah, it was just like, yeah, okay, I'll offer him that because he put so much into it.
Oh, he does. He really does. So, yeah, very good. Very good. That is. I learned something there as well.
Yeah,
I didn't know. Breaking news for the BG40 group.
Everyone, all of you are going to go right.
Do you have any early inspirations of content creation, as in any kind of content creation, like YouTubers or anyone like that?
Well, I mean, like I said it before, like if we were saying gaming, like gaming reviews, I really rate Yahtzee. So from Zero Punctuation, been listening to him. I was introduced to him by a friend early 2000-ish. He's been going for quite a while, and he's satirical. And it's always a review where he's being kind of he takes the mickey out of the actual game, whether he likes it or not. It's just kind of that way, and it's cartoony. And if anyone wants to see it, they should check him out. So it's
I need to. Never heard of him.
No, you see, and that's the thing, and he's hilarious. He is hilarious.
Terrible. I should have,
Yeah, he does it for Escape. I think it's called Escapist magazine, and he's been around for guys. Hey, Indy, and yeah, it's just he's one of my gaming inspirations and kind of followers that person I follow. When it comes to like videos and stuff, there's 2 main that I get. Like I was saying with the fads, I learn stuff and everything. So there's so many different people that I've watched and followed to try and learn stuff. But 2 of the main people that I follow for video creation are Peter McKinnon and Jet Potato. 2 guys that you can that are really good at giving information about how to do photo, videography, editing, using programs. And I love their content. They're 2 that are on YouTube as well. Before that, it's like everyone. My biggest thing, because obviously when I was growing up, I was really into special effects and makeup and doing stuff. So I wanted to work for Jim Henson's Creature Workshop. And then when I got older, I still wanted to do that. And I also wanted to follow in the footsteps of like my idol, who was Tom Savini. Now, if anyone doesn't know who Tom Savini is, he's a Sex Machine from Dusk Till Dawn. And he's actually one of the greatest like special effects and prosthetic artists there are in the information. Indy's just said, "What's up, Mars? I've subbed to Jet Potato too. He's awesome." Great. That's cool. Yeah.
I will be after the show.
You need to have a look. And both Peter McKinnon and Jet Potato go around. They did a video together as well at one point, because they all go out and they do stuff. So and Microsoft said amazing special effects guy. Yeah, Tom Savini is amazing. Going back to him. I never got into Jim Henson's Creature Workshop, even once I'd studied and tried. It's so hard to get in there and do stuff. I was going to do a joke then, saying, obviously I wanted to work with Muppets and yeah. No, yeah. So yeah, that was they were kind of what they were the people that was my inspiration for content. I pick it out from everyone. The music stuff as well. I'm heavily into music. I like my music, and that's why I said I'm the king of fad. I listen to everything. I try and do everything. I create music. I was talking to Craig earlier, so Xbox Jesus. Sorting out a kind of a laptop, so I was testing the sound out on it, and I found I was going through CDs. I was like, oh my god, I need some CDs. Where are all my CDs? And I found a bunch of ones I had for PC, and one of them there, and I kind of dusted it off, and it was some old kind of really bad dance music I'd created myself. And I was like, do you know what, actually I could probably use this on a video when I make a video, and it's my own, so it's my own content, and it's not copyrighted. So
I used to use Fruity Loops years ago and Cubase.
I still have them. I still have Cubase and Fruity Loops. But it's good to learn. I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. I kind of learn everything so that I can put it together and mash it all up. So doing video graphics and stuff like that. I mean, my icon's created by Graphic God. You've seen his work. It's amazing.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, he's amazing work.
Yeah. So he's he created mine, and chat to Jay quite a bit now and then. And I kind of like, sometimes it was like, if I'm making stuff for people like in the gaming community as well, like designs, I'm always making sure that they should go and see Graphic first, because I don't want to take anything from them. I don't charge anything, but I'd rather they go and speak to Jay, and Jay makes money out of it, or does the work, because that's who he is and how he does it. So yeah, that's it. My content creators.
Yeah, I will eventually get round to getting one off Jay. I will. I will get round to getting one off Graphic God.
You should do
a logo. I will.
Right. I quite like your one though. It's all right.
Oh, my mate made it. He did. He used to. He's got like. He's very good at content. He's not a content creator. He used to work for a big gaming channel called Your Overwatch. Right. I looked at the recent videos. They got like 200,000. He used to edit for them. Nice. He was mates with them, but they gave him a job. But he doesn't work for them anymore. He got, editing all the time at home. He got fed up with it,
Yeah.
But he knocked it up in about 5 minutes, But because I kept asking him, and in the end, he went, "Here you go. Here's one." He got fed up. Oh, I'll make one just to shut him up. So right. Do you have any struggles content creation wise? I suppose that's a bit hard to ask because you haven't made anything in a while, have you?
No, that's the thing. The struggles,
videos,
the struggles are time. It's got to be the time. So, real life gets in the way, and you can't really just knock that on the head to try and carry on with it. I'd love to have more time. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to do it. I think one of the key things about creating content is you have to be in the mood for it. You have to be passionate about it. If you're tired and you're not really focused on it, you're not interested in it, one, it's going to come out a bit crappy. Two, you're going to get a bit disillusioned about it. And three, it's just not going to be entertaining for everyone because it comes across in what you do that it's just been either slapdash or you're just not being interested in it. So I think for me, the struggles are actually having the time. It's trying to arrange yourself to do that. I mean, my work has changed quite a bit recently, so I've moved into different jobs and stuff like that, and sometimes it's quite demanding for time wise. Then you've got to obviously spend time with your family and those and whatever, and then there's other things on type. So I think the biggest struggle for me on content is time. If I get into a mode when it comes to things like banners and intros and little 3D graphics and stuff like that, I will just whip through them, and it's really strange. I'll get into a zone, I barely stop staring at a screen, and I'll just have this creative mode and kick through it. When it comes to the videos, obviously the time in editing it, getting the sound right, putting it together, cutting and pasting, I think at the moment I've been a bit lazy with it. I've been quite busy, but it's yeah. What's time? I forgot. That's what Dad said. It's true. Suddenly, the next thing you know, it's this certain time in the morning. You got to go and put your head down, and you got to get up for work.
Exactly.
And then you've got to make time, obviously with gaming, I want to game. So there's been a couple of times where I haven't, and I should have done some videos, but I've ended up playing games. And I think that's the whole point. You've got to have fun with it. Don't make it, it can't become a chore. Otherwise it's ruined. There's no point in doing it, is it?
Very true. That is very true. Definitely. That is.
So that's my struggles. Time. I don't think there's any others. I mean, like, I could do with a better PC. Everyone could do with more, memory, graphics.
I'm working on that this year. I'm hoping to kind of get a half decent-ish PC-ish.
It's you should be able to, it's to use the tools that you have.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to fork out for £1,000-2,000 laptop PC, blah, all singing, all dancing, it'll make the tea and other things. I'll say, making sure this is a family chat, family friendly. I won't say what else you expect to do.
You can swear if you want to,
Do you know what? I'm not known, but if you ever watch any of the streams we do on a Thursday or whatever, I am swearing like a trooper. And at one point, I think I did to try a challenge to not swear on a stream, and I think I lasted all of probably about 3 minutes before I went, you know what, and then just said something, and then everyone, you swore, and it was like, okay, and this verbal tirade came out of me. So I'm just trying it. But I was saying, like PCs, it's all singing or dancing. What you just need to be, what you can do is just try and work with what you've got. There are certain things that you can get, and cheaper versions, and they might not be as effective, but you can work with things and mess around with them and play around with them. Yes, a Yeti is a fantastic mic to work with, but having a standard one.
See, I spoke to someone else, and he said that everyone goes on about Yeti.
But Rhodes are better.
That is exactly what he uses. Yeah. I was speaking to another YouTuber.
Rode has been used for many years.
On about Yeti, and he said Rogues are better. If you got the money, Rogues are better.
I tell you why, because Rhodes have been around a lot longer. Their microphones are better, but they're actually they were what they call XLR, and they needed power, so you couldn't really. Yeti became quite popular because they came out. They were expensive, but they're not overly expensive in comparison to some really good microphones, and they were USB. So it was just, you don't need a separate audio interface. I've got a separate audio interface as well. I've got the audiophile one, and it's got phantom power for condenser mics. Yeti came out, or Blue as the company came out with more PC based microphones, and then started doing studio style microphones that were USB based and didn't need the power. There are so many, and Indies even just said there's so many mics out there that are awesome. Yeti just hits the spot every level, but good. But there are others. Rhodes is really good. Rhodes is compatible with all sorts, from cameras to laptops to all sorts, and there are other ones. I tell you what's a really good one, and you're saying about money, guys. Now on certain places you can get Newer, and Newer are a Chinese made microphone. Some of them aren't great, some of them are fantastic, but they're condenser mics that do need power, are pretty good. So I've got Newer one, which I will, when I do a video, I will say I'm doing also one on this subject for people who want to do recording. So getting the Yeti, having the cheap and cheerful condenser mic, the USB one, having a separate audio file for instance, I make them intros for people. I use After Effects. I have a laptop, just a laptop. My laptop is a HP laptop. It's Intel Core 5 7th gen, and it has wait for it, 4 gig of RAM. Not 8, not 16, 4 gig of RAM. So I work with the tools I've got to create things. So it's not all all singing, all dancing. try and learn to work with what you've got, and then you can build it up, and then you can create something better.
Yeah.
Hey Tom, by the way, Tom's in chat.
Oh, Tom, listen.
I was just blowing. There you go. I'm going to swear. I was just blowing smoke up your ass, mate.
Oh yeah, you want to
Earlier,
listen
you
back
missed it
later on? He definitely was.
But yeah, work with what you've got. Work with what you got and what you have. I've got a little laptop. I don't have a PC.
I bought the wrong one, really. I went and bought the wrong. I should have bought a different laptop because I've got my laptop's got a 20 gig SSD or 30 gig. It's tiny. I should have bought a normal one with a terabyte on.
Yeah, here's some clarity, right? Okay, so you didn't buy a laptop. You bought a Chromebook, didn't you?
It's not.
It's a Chromebook. It's not a Chromebook. So have you got Windows on it?
I got Windows.
So you're all right then. You're quite lucky. A lot of people make the mistake. They go out and they say, need a cheap laptop, can't really afford much. I'm going to go and buy this, and I'll buy the name and drop names like Acer, Dell, Samsung.
My family rang me at Christmas saying, my niece wants a laptop, but she wants this thing called a Chromebook. And I said, that's okay if you only want to use stuff on the internet because there's no internal memory, really.
It's not just memory. Everything is locked down. It's a different operating system, so you can't put Windows on it.
She only wants
she's happy.
Go on, the internet and that, but she's happy with it. But it was about £200-300. I thought that's a rip-off. It doesn't really do a lot apart from the fact that it's all online. There's no real storage. I thought that's a pretty crappy price.
Yeah, but you see,
don't they?
Yeah, and also Chromebooks are locked to Chrome, to Google, so you have to use the Google apps. So it is just technically it's a large phone with a keyboard. But you work with what you've got.
Exactly.
I'd say, you can get some older laptops. If you look around and search around on eBay, you can find some old ones. I just have actually picked up. So I bought a HP 87. I think it's an 8740 or 8470p. It was released in 2013. It's an Intel. It's an i7, but the older model i7, and has. It was the only one that was released with Radeon graphics. So it's got an AMD Radeon graphics card in it, which means it can still run some pretty good games. And it's the Elite ProBook. It's older. People don't tend to have it, and you can find them on eBay quite a bit. They have a couple of nicks and dinks in them, but you can upgrade the memory.
I reckon I may do that. I may do that. That might be a cheaper option.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so for you can still get the DDR RAM for it and upgrade it. Most of them came with 4 or 8, but you can upgrade it to 16, and you got 16 gig of RAM, a Radeon graphics card, which is okay for some of the older games and some of the basic ones. And you can have a look at it, but it's got everything else. It was an Elite Pro. It was used for business, so good, and it runs Windows 10 clearly. And I did. It was I'll say I won it in a bid in the end. I was looking, I wouldn't go any higher, and I got it for about 120 quid in total.
That's good. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you wouldn't know, but I'm just saying that's not bad. Actually, it's pretty good, but it's not bad. That's not a bad price. And thinking about it, you spend 120 quid on a laptop on brand new, and you're going to get a Chromebook that only has 20 gig SSD memory and maybe 2 gig of RAM, and you can only do certain things on it. So, but this one, obviously you can upgrade the memory. It's got a DVD burner on it. You can put a larger hard drive on it.
Oh, that sounds good. That
you can do things with it. It's still a laptop. So yeah, things like that. It's really what you can do.
Well, that's good then. But I'll tell you one thing about going back to the Blue Yetis. I think I know why they dominate the market so much. Years ago, when I used to listen to loads of podcasts, people just used to listen to podcasts. YouTube weren't in the equation. Well, all the adverts, they were all Blue Yeti. Nearly every podcast had that, and they drilled it into people's heads. Blue Yetis are the best. That's what everyone used, and I think it spread like wildfire.
Rode has always been around. There's, you've got Yamaha, you've got loads of different companies that make them, and it's trial and error. Go and try some of them out in local music shops. a lot of places are doing it. I got my Yeti in a studio bundle, so it came with a boom arm, a radius and all of that lot to work with. But I decided I wanted to buy that, and you inherited my microphone after that, didn't you? You got my USB one.
Yeah, and you're a good bloke. You are, I'll tell you. You really are.
No, you don't have to go.
Everyone, this snowball microphone I'm on now. Mass sent me it for Christmas and birthday as a present. So I can't thank him enough.
It was good. I sent you the original mic. It worked. It was good, but just felt that as a content creator, we needed to hear you better. And I thought, well, why not get you something for your birthday and Christmas as well? I do that. I like to help everyone that's in in the group and other people. So sometimes I will do that. I don't like people asking. I don't mind people asking if it's different stuff, but yeah,
I'll never ask you. I've never asked you for any.
I don't mind it if it comes from the guys that I know. If you're friends or it's people that are in chats or whatever that know me, and people asking for advice or support or just how to do something, then yeah, cool. That's great. But if you don't know me and you come and ask me, then no, I'm probably not gonna help you. But I want to help those that are creating content for one, the channel, two, the website, because I've created the website. It's all of yours, and I want it to succeed. And that's why. So I'll help everybody out. I'm sure you'll find out later. The laptop's for someone that's in the group. So, it's things like that. It's I'll gladly. What's that, Tom? Oh. Yeah, no.
But no, it's because you caused some controversy. You sent me a message saying there's a package coming to you, and you wouldn't tell me what it was. And in the back of my mind, I thought, and it arrived, and I raced home at dinner time to get it. I think I sent you a mini video on WhatsApp or whatever, didn't I?
Yeah, you're in your car.
Really in tears.
You were in the car. You sent me a video of you in the car, opening this box and having a look in, and the Yeti Snowball was in there, going, "Oh my god, I can't believe it! I can't believe it!" So,
in the back of my mind, I thought the bugger sent me a microphone, but I didn't want to 100% think it though, But I do genuinely appreciate it. I do,
Well, look, you got the Stubzcast now.
Yeah, I got the Stubzcast. I have, yeah, as well. And I will be putting out more content on the BG4G hub because as my YouTube channel isn't gaming content related anymore, it's just for the podcast. All that content's going on the channel, on the BG4G hub channel.
So Indy, I'm going to add. I just thought, I just thought I'd jump in because Indy says defo going to get an interface with XLR at some point. I need when I get some dosh. There's a really good one, Indy, that if you wanted to check it out, it's the Audiophile X80, I think, which is a USB interface for PC and laptop, and it's about 80 quid on Amazon. But that has 2 phantom XLR inputs plus mic input, and it has it also has mixing capabilities on it with the software. So I'd check that out if I were you. I've just got one, and that's the one I'm going to be looking at on the video. It's been sitting there in a box, so couldn't tell you how good it is, but what I've heard is it's a great one to use. There you go. See? Yeah, I'm done now, Stubbs. You can. Sorry.
Okay. so we may have covered it though. So what's it actually take to run the website? Have we covered that?
No, I mean, we talked about how it created, but to what does it take to run it? I mean, it depends on how, if anyone's interested in doing their own website, do it, but take into consideration that you're going to be that there has to be money behind it when it comes to something like this. If you're doing just a little blog, that's cool, and you're only going to do it for about a year, then great. But it's when you get to something like this site, even though it's not got a massive following right now, and we put a lot of content and time into it, that's what you've got to be prepared for: is the content, the time, keeping it up to date, thinking about rules and regulations, and money. So I've renewed it for another 2 years, but your first year is usually really cheap because, like any package that people try and sell you, you're going to get, you can get it for $20, or you can have $70. You can buy it, buy your domain, and then buy your site hosting. You put it together, and the money starts adding up. And then when it comes to the year end, they go, right, now you can renew, and it's going to cost you £200-300, $300 or whatever. For another year. So
do they also like?
Did you see that? Dazzy says if he was a mod, he'd put the BG4G link in the chat.
Oh,
He's
all right.
The mod.
Yeah, no one's a mod. Right, wait a minute. I will sort this out. You lot might get a surprise with all
right.
that.
Well, you carry on with that, but yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, silence it. I don't want to repeat. But yeah, so that's one thing. If you're going to create a website, think about the time you're going to put into it. If there's a little blog, just you chatting about stuff, then do what you want to do. Sites tend to be, originally when they started up years ago, it was really good to do. I've done a couple of them before. You got to think about how you're going to keep it going, how you're going to keep it interesting, and also how you're going to keep it funded. I don't mind at the moment. I've done it for the passion and to get everybody in. So I've put the money into it, and I've paid not only for the design, but the hosting, the domain, and also for GDPR. There's things that you have to think about when it comes to rules and regulations. The GDPR is. Oh, there you go. You've done it. Oh, look, you made India one as well.
Oh, he's always here showing support. He's a good lad.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, so, and there you go. And Dazzy's put the link into the site. It's, if you're going to do your own one or what have you, your own site, just take that into consideration, the money.
Okay, I mean, always, because I've looked at it before about websites, and it always looks expensive. It's not as expensive.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there are ways of doing it cheaper as well. But obviously, I wanted to go down the route of it needed to be a professional website. It needed to be that you guys get into it. I wanted everybody that was on there could go and, be able to see it. It looks good. It feels right to use it. It's not something that's too janky or janky at all. And it needed to be interesting. If it's just like one white page with a couple of images on it and didn't really work properly, it doesn't really work. But if you're doing a blog or something basic to start with, you can get them for free. You just have to pay for your domain. So get a name, buy your name. That'll cost you. Some do offers of about like $10 for a year or 2 years. For the first 2 years, $10. Make sure that the name hasn't been used before. You buy it and look up whatever.com, .tv, .org, whatever it is, and then you can go to WordPress. And if you use WordPress, you can actually do a free hosting on WordPress, but it's only for small sites, and there's a certain amount you can put on it. But initially, that's the type of thing you can do.
Yeah, that's an insight into how you make a website. It's very, very interesting, but as you say, you've got to be invested into it with money, and you've got to be on the ball because you
just research.
Exactly.
Research, learn what you're going to do before if this is what you're interested in, learn and have a look. And there's so many people, and again, content creators who create information for you to watch or just check out the websites, and just keep them. Thanks, Indy. And a little bit of a plug, but if anyone wants to come and join the BG4G and be a reviewer on there, or put news, opinions, or anything, we're always looking for people to come on. I want to build this. I want it to keep going.
No, you can plug BG4G as much as you want. You can, but yeah, we could do a more creators. We could definitely.
We could.
Always.
I want it to be. I mean, like, moving forward, content creation.
Wait a minute. That's one of the questions, actually.
Oh, is it? Go on then, Stubby. Ask me the question.
You just segued nicely there. What are your goals for you, content creation wise, and how would you like to see BG4G go in the future?
For me, content creation wise, I want to do more content. I want to make some more videos for myself. I think that's for my own bit. But actually, when it comes to BG4G, I want more creators on there. I want people to be invested in it. I think we need to be a lot more diverse in the kind of reviews we're doing. We do a lot of games, but I'd like to see a lot more for the PC, for the PS4, because we are predominantly Xbox, and I don't want it to be Xbox centric. We are starting to roll out a lot more on the PC, a lot more on. There's some Switch reviews coming out.
Yeah, there
I
is.
do Stadia as well, but Stadia hasn't got any exclusives. We won't go into that.
Well,
And no, you're not Stubz. I won't. I won't. Yeah, I think for BG, I want it to roll out. I mean, there may be a point where we will start having to look at having some advertising on there, but at the moment I'm keeping it where it's minimal, so you guys get to have a look and just dip around and see what's on there, and yeah, just keep growing. It's the whole point. Keep it moving forward, change it up, the change in style. When we originally did this, there was a set idea of trying to keep toxicity out of it, and we still want that, but it was the kind of, it was almost like forcing it. It was an idea that had come out before, and I wasn't 100% keen on it, where the scoring was a certain way. We had comments locked down. We did that type of thing in the background.
That scoring confused.
Yeah, it was confusing.
Confused a lot of people, it did.
Yeah, whereas now we want, I got rid of it. Yes, I've had to put an age gate on. I've had to put an age gate on just because of what was what's happening and what's going on, and it's been there for a while. And that was another thing. Me not doing full kind of research and skipping some of it and going, nah, don't worry about that. It's fine. Realizing that, obviously, which is another segue in for something later on that we can talk about, was the COPA regulations. That you've got GDPR, which is about storing people's information and what have you, because we're having comments, we've got people subscribing and things like that. There's a lot of ruling that's around the background.
Going forward, because we're leaving the EU, that's EU regulation. Is that going to be put into law?
You see, I've got it
wrong.
Don't get it mixed up. Yeah, you've got it wrong. So the article, I think it's Article 50, had things about information copyright law on memes and sharing information like that. But GDPR does actually exist, and it's everywhere, and it's not just the European Union. The America has something similar. They have one, the California, I think in particular, they have a law in it regarding it. But what's that? That says because the DAS 18 plus. Well, actually, I've lowered it now and didn't say anything. It's actually lowered to 16, and that's because of the COPA reg. So the COPA regulations for websites has been in existence for a long time. I think it's 96 or 98 is when it originally came in, and what it is basically any storage of data of minors, and what they classify a minor is actually 13. So I could lower it to 13, so that people over the age of 13 can come to the site. And I just age gated it, because age gate is it's not a loophole, it's a way of agreeing with the law, which is anybody under the age of 13, you can't store their information, be it their name, be it their address, be anything. So when you've got a subscription system built into your web page, you have to record data, and you have to have it a certain way, and you've got to have certain declarations. So I pay for a GDPR to be looked at by a proper lawyer, and he updates it, and it gets regularly updated.
Okay.
But it's for the COPA one is that if they're under the age of 13, you have to get permission from the parents in writing. So the whole point is the way of getting around that is you age gate your site so that no one under that age can get in. Now, it doesn't mean that they won't falsify their age when it comes in, but the idea is that you have put that stop in initially. Yeah, so that's the whole point in regards to the COPA. So everyone's going on about COPA and YouTube. COPA's been around for years. It's there, and I didn't initially pay any attention to it. And that was because it was more of an American law, but it's actually universal. It's everywhere. It affects everybody. So I put an age gate in. So that's what some people kind of noticed. And originally my knee-jerk reaction was to put it in at plus 18. That was because we were doing podcasts. We were having people on, you've got a lot of swearing and things like that. But the way the site works now, you can do your video and make it age gate to 18. Someone can come to the site up until the age of 16 and have a look at games, PEGI rated. And then if they try and watch a video, unless they're registered with YouTube and are registered over the age of 18, they can't see it. So it makes sense. We need to change it around a bit, I think.
It's a good thing, but like the reason they're in the situation they are is because basically Google thought they were this juggernaut that they could ignore all the laws. Basically, they got themselves into this mess, and it's affected everyone.
Yeah, it wasn't that we're ignoring the laws; they were kind of lying. They lied about it. So I've said it before, and I don't want to go into it too much because we go over it over and over and over and over again. But the COPA regulations was COPA turned around for many years when they do the registration and the information. They would go to YouTube and say, you're storing information for children, and then they turn around and go, no, we're not. We have YouTube Kids. And that's how it works. But then on the other side of things, our demographic is that everybody that watches YouTube is over the age of 13 anyway. They're like 14 to 15-year-olds and above watching YouTube. Those under that age don't really watch YouTube that much. And they kept lying about that for quite a few number of years. What it actually came out was statistically minors and children between the ages of really, they one of the exact ones was between the ages of 12 and 14 would watch YouTube daily. 85% of children across the world between 12 and 15 would watch YouTube 85% on a daily basis. I agree. Once those stats came out, it ended up being that they couldn't deny it anymore. So COPA went, right, in we go. Let's get you into court, and we'll take you to court. And we're going to, we're going to sue you. We're going to get you done, and blah 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 blah. And what happened was that they went to start the court proceedings. They started to go in the court, and then they settled outside of court. So they weren't actually fined. They settled outside of court. So they settled for, I think it was ridiculous, 170 million or something. They had to pay as a fine.
Pennies to them.
I know. But they settled outside of court. But they also agreed that COPA could have a little bit more control over what goes on YouTube. So the COPA turned around and said they were allowed to do sweeps of channels on YouTube. They had to have it segregated off so that what they classified as for children, for adults, and there was a general one as well, which they did. And then. Yeah, and they had to do that, and they do regular sweeps. And then they did the scaremongering tactics and what have you. So COPA doesn't really affect people too much. And when they said, oh, yeah, if your video is found to be made for kids and you've said it's not made for kids and you've got comments put underneath, you're going to be fined $42,000 per video. No, it's not. It's for the larger ones, and they can decide as from your income or whatever. And initially what it will be is that you'll probably get the video asked to be removed, and then you'll be asked to change your account. And if you're a repeat offender, goodbye your YouTube account.
Yeah, because that was the problem. Because, apparently someone went to COPA, because apparently COPA, they are reading all them thousands of comments, and a lot of these COPA laws haven't actually been implemented yet.
No, that's correct. That's right. They're there, but they've not been implemented.
They're not allowed to bankrupt somebody, and there's a voting system within COPA, and they have to vote on if they're going to fine this said YouTuber on the video, and only a percentage of the said YouTubers and revenue. They're not allowed to bankrupt somebody.
No.
Not allowed to.
So if you're not making revenue, how does it? They won't.
They won't. What they do is they either ask you to remove your video or just make you put 18 plus.
That's the whole point. Like all of my videos, really, just as a safety precaution, are 18 plus. Yeah, just because in case I swear or the contents. And the other thing is as well, really, I might change the site moving forward. This is something that we will discuss and move forward. Is how how we do it. So initially I did a blanket block. So the blanket block on the site is it's an age gate at the first page. You come in, you've got to prove you're old enough to come to the site. What I might do is down that to page specific. And I think we'll, moving forward for the site to move up, that's what we'll do slightly differently, is in respect to the age rating of the game. I think I'll do it. So that the opportunity for people who are there, there will be certain things that will need to be put into place, i.e. so if it's for someone under the age of 13, I'll make sure there's no comments on the site for that specific. You can't register without putting your age in. You've got to be over an age. But if it's an Peggy 18 game or a Peggy 16 game, you're going to have to age gate. You're going to have to prove it just to block it in. But that's the whole thing with the COPA. It makes people, butt twitchy, and it wasn't. You need to, if anyone wants to do content and wants to do things on channels, on web pages, on anything, look it up. YouTube, in all honesty, isn't actually the best place to watch videos about this because people are clickbaiters.
Oh, they got some serious views, and it was like doomsday. Some of these videos are getting 100,000, 200,000 views.
But that's the point. And negativity, and I mean, I don't like promoting it. I don't want to promote it, but negativity seems to get the most amount of views. And I don't know why it does. You can see that with it.
Gaming. You got negative, it draws views,
Well, yeah, my most viewed, I've got 4 videos, and I think my most viewed video is my rant about Anthem on the day of the beta release, where I just got triggered, released this video of my voiceover with just the load screen when it was just going on and on and on, and I'm swearing and everything. I got the most views on that video.
You got me a key, didn't you? And we were sat there for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah. But that's the whole thing, isn't it? That got the most views out of all my videos, and I've only done 4 on there. It got more views than most in other sites. It's negativity feeds negativity. So yeah, do your research when it comes to the laws and stuff like that. But actually have a read. Don't go to YouTube to read it. Or there might be 1 or 2. Yeah, Anthem deserved it. Yeah, it did. I still play it though. I feel like I've invested in it. Not only in content creativity, but in money as well. So I do still play Anthem. Just
about age gating. You might know this. How come none of the other big gaming websites, Game Rant, GameSpot, none of them ask you for your age? Is that because they're so big they don't care?
No, it's because they actually register. So you can't put comments on the bigger.
I didn't know that. I don't look.
I want comments. I think, if you look on some of these review sites, you can read the review. It's just a review of the journalist. You can't put comments underneath. And if you can put comments, you do it as you have to register. And therefore, when you go to the register, it's going to ask you for your age. And if it doesn't, then it's an anonymous and it doesn't store any of your data. Therefore, it's not copying or it's not under the COPA rules. That's the loophole, which is surprising. Actually, there are a number of sites that don't, for some reason, that are big enough that don't need it. So, you just click a button to say you're over a certain age. I could name one that's quite popular with young men of 16 to 17 and they can watch on their phone. They don't, you don't have to put anything in there, but I'm sure, there's probably quite a few people that could just go on there, and that's the problem with it. And I think COPA's got the right idea, but they just need to implement it properly, update their information, and enforce it into the larger ones. And if everybody follows suit, then it's fine. It's not a big deal, really isn't a big deal to put, I was born in 1993 or 76 or whatever, just to say your age, to get you into a site to look at the information. It's the laziness of people who turn around and go, no, don't want to do that. I don't want to put my age in there. I don't want to put my age in there. I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah, well, it takes 2 seconds, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's literally it. So yeah, there's a lot of changes, but yeah, COPA, read your regs. GDPR, they're the main ones you want. The GDPR, there is the Californian law, and I can't remember what it's called. It might be Orange or something. And COPA, if you're doing sites or you're doing stuff, don't watch the videos on YouTube about COPA. You get these. I'm a liar, and I've been a liar for 4,000 years, and I can tell you, YouTube is going down the pan. I can tell you, I've been studying this for the last 30 years. COPA only came out like last month. Yeah, but I've still been studying it for 30 years, and I can tell you that you're doing it all wrong, and YouTube is ripping you off. Now, if you'd like to hear more, just click and subscribe at the bottom and donate $30 to my Patreon at the bottom of my page, and I'll tell you how to get around COPA regs. No, don't watch it. It just doesn't. It's there for their entertainment. They're getting paid for that. That's the whole point. They're getting paid for it. Do some info. Have a look. That's how I get my information. That's what the internet was invented for. Go and get your information. Google it. Have a look. Read some actual information. And see it. There may be one or two videos, but I would take any video on YouTube about regs and rules as a pinch of salt, because if it's on there in the first place, it's probably not 100%. There was been an article, completely separate subject, about baking hacks. So look, you had Zemi and you were talking about cooking. I'm going to bring the subject back again. There were baking hacks, and I think BBC News did one, which is that they were talking about the baking hacks. So this guy and this food science lady went through at some of the top viewed baking hacks that are shown on YouTube, and they proved them to be clickbaiting. They don't actually work. They don't work at all. And some of them are actually quite dangerous. One of which was, I thought was disgusting, was there's a video going out that has had like millions of hits that shows you how to turn strawberries white. So Stubsy, can you imagine, what do you think is the way of turning a strawberry white for a peel? How would you turn a strawberry white?
Chuck flour over it?
No. So they show you how to put the strawberry in bleach over 24 hours.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah. All right. So can you imagine how much bleach kids and potential people could actually ingest eating bleached strawberries? And there's others as well, like, bird shit on it. That was Ben Do. That's quite funny. But yeah, it's things like that. But that's the whole point, isn't it? YouTube showing you them clicks. It's clickbaity. It's that type of thing of information and how it goes. Yes, watch videos for some people who are showing you actually how to do things. But yeah, there's a lot of clickbaity stuff out there. Don't believe everything you see.
Yeah,
that goes for you as well, Stubs.
True. There was one law, I'm pretty sure, on that Article 13 all the YouTubers worrying about.
Yeah.
It was confirmed that the UK won't be implementing the law.
Yeah, but that's the one I was talking about, wasn't it? Article 13. Is that not the GIF and meme one?
Yeah, and it would basically block any copyrighted content, so it would effectively block YouTube from the UK.
Yeah, but you get all sorts of people who falsify copyright claims as well.
Oh, but from the way they were talking about it, anything that has copyrighted like gaming videos, the EU users won't be able to see it. They were going to block them. So effectively, it will cut into YouTube's revenue.
Yeah, so
but a lot of these laws are created by people who don't understand the internet.
Well, yes and no. Yes, a lot of them sit. They're a lot of MPs. They don't have time for that.
No, they're too busy getting their expenses sitting and expensive hotels having dinners.
Yeah, some of them not off the expensive scandal. I doubt there's some of them do that. They'll just get their gimp suits out for a Friday night at Torture Garden. That's where most of them go, actually.
You probably know.
No, you can't say anything. I can neither confirm nor deny any information that Stubbs is about to say. Yeah. So, yeah.
No, it's been very good so far. I got another question for you.
Yeah.
Do you do any research or watch videos, etc., to push your content further, like with tagging, SEO, etc., or have you just picked that up throughout the years?
So for everyone who's listening, if you just now pause, or at the end of the show pause at this point, and then rewind it about kind of 10 minutes of me talking, the answer's there.
Yeah, sorry about that. I missed the question.
I just talked about thinking. Oh, so what's your gaming background? Did you see that question from Indy?
Yeah, you can answer
that.
that. If
Gaming background. What's your gaming background?
If you want to answer that, you can.
You want to know where I kind of started gaming, or what? Just in general, my gaming background was. So let's see. My first console was actually a ZX81 Spectrum. Well, actually, my dad had one of the old Ataris, and I used to play on that. But my own one was ZX81 Spectrum ZX81 with the old tape deck and the noise. Dragon 32, and then from there, my gaming kind of changed because with my dad was working in City of London, and he was he was a telex operator for merchant banks, so he would work overnight. I used to sometimes go and see him when I was a little younger, and when they used to have their PC updates, they used to take all the PCs and they just throw them in a skip. So literally, instead of it being that they take them away and replace them with something else, they used to just chuck them all in a skip and buy a whole new load of PCs. Yeah, I'm showing my age there, Ben. Yeah. So I once took one of them home. So I took an IBM 128 home, and then I found there was something wrong with it. So then my dad got me a couple of other ones. And I'm telling you, the 128, so there's 128 meg of memory, as in the hard drive, and the hard drive was the size of a shoebox. So you got this PC with a shoebox size hard drive that had 128 meg in it. It was ridiculous. And I took it apart and started building it and putting it back together. And then I started learning about putting PC. So I can build a PC. Not so much now. It's all changed a little bit more. It goes a little bit more advanced than what I'm able to do. But that's where it was. And when I got the PC built, then I started doing an operating system. From the operating system, started playing different games on the PC. Flight Sim, when that first come out. My dad's addicted to it and still is. I mean, literally today he was talking to me asking whether I'd be able to try and source a code for him because he's had no response from the Insider program. Subsequently shouted him 14 days worth of Ultimate so that he can get it on day one. But yeah, so I played Flight Sim and different types of games that come out that were on there, and then I developed, and then from there, from the Sony and Nintendo. So I had the SNES, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2,
PS2,
PS2 I had, and I had all sorts of different ones. My dad used to pick some really random stuff on them. Some of them probably weren't even legitimate. They were just made somewhere else. The big joystick, big old joysticks. And then I went to Xbox, and I grabbed an Xbox. Then I got the 360, a 360 Elite, and then the Xbox One, Xbox One S, and then Xbox One X. But my mates had a lot of the other ones as well, and it was never ever, going into like kind of the fanboying things. Mine was better than your one. It would be come around mine and play a couple of games on mine, or I'd go around there and play on his PlayStation, his PS3 or whatever, or I'd go around to my mate's house and play. We used to go around when I was younger, go around and we'd play on the Sega Mega Drive, and then he'd come over to mine to play on the Nintendo. So we played on all the consoles, and where I was growing up, we also had a arcade place called the Johan Plaza, which was a Japanese place, which was quite advanced for arcade. So I'd play the console ones. My favorite one was kind of like Ace Combat when that first come out, and it was in the actual sit down and kind of almost like movable arcade. I used to spin around and all sorts. Used to play that one. Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, all of the good old ones in the arcades. You just go there, and then I'd sneak down to central London and play in Trocadero when Trocadero was about, and spend all my hard-earned money, or my dad's hard-earned money on playing games. So yeah, that's my gaming background.
Very interesting. Showed your age there.
Well, I'm not ashamed. I'm 41 years old. I started very young.
It's back when I'll be honest now, a lot of the kids now, they don't know where gaming came from. You know, they haven't played the old games. I mean, I even had a Commodore 64 at one point. Not a launch though, but I did have one over the years.
I never had the 60. I never had the 64. I did play on it, but I never had it. Indy asks, is the Trocadero gone now? Yeah, the building itself, Trocadero's there, but it's not. It's an M&M factory now. Half of it is the M&M's world. You went there, Stubbsy, the other week.
I did go there.
That used to be the Trocadero. That used to be where you were in, smelling chocolate and seeing all the bleeding M&Ms everywhere.
It was all right. The second day I went, though, I went back to get something. You're right. The smell gets you. I couldn't take the smell.
I couldn't either. It makes me feel sick. Yeah. But that used to be the Trocadero. That section used to be the Trocadero. I used to go in through there. You'd go up to the second floor, and you had all of the fighting arcades and the hockey, the air hockey. And if you went down to the lower floor, you used to have. I remember I was there once when they had the release of the first virtual reality gaming, and the first virtual reality gaming showcase. And I spent £5, and that was like a lot of money. For me, a £5 to get in and have a go at it, and it was a Formula One race car, and they stuck loads of screens in front of you so you didn't see, but everyone could see, and then they put virtual reality headset on you, and the graphics were literally like the first ever graphics. It was blocky, but yeah, you used to do that.
Yeah, it's quite.
So there you go.
Learned something there too.
Yeah,
definitely.
There you go.
So it's been a good podcast. Do you, got one last question. Do you have any advice for new content creators, new YouTubers, any kind of content creator? Do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, I've already gone through it, I think, in the show, but just to kind of recap on it, I think do your research on the rules and regulations. Don't go too heavily into it. Don't be too afraid of it. Ask people their stuff and enjoy it. Mostly enjoy it. You know, don't force content, and don't try and please everyone either. You know, the whole point of you doing your content is for you and what you hope the viewers will like, but don't think that everybody's going to like it. Yeah, just it should be fun, and think about what kind of audience you're wanting. And don't worry about your equipment. Use what you've got. Do a MacGyver.
Exactly. So everyone's got to start somewhere.
Exactly. You've got to start somewhere and just use what you've got and do it. It doesn't have to be fantastic. Go and watch. You know, if there's someone that you think is an amazing YouTuber and you've been watching them and they're the type of people you want to be, and they're the type of people, go and watch their videos, but go and select their videos and try and find their earliest videos. Go and watch them and see how either cringeworthy they were or how bad they were. No one comes out, you know, shiny and whatever. And Tom's put never be afraid of your equipment.
Afraid. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah. So go and have a look at their videos as well, because I guarantee you'll see it, and it's really cringeworthy if it's a vlog or you know, if they watch them back, they cringe at it as well. So don't worry about it. Just go for gold, go for it, and use what you've got. And don't be afraid of your equipment, and don't be afraid to use what you've got. And Indy, I'm hoping to get to EGX Resd. So hopefully I'll see you there.
Hopefully I'll be able to go. Hopefully.
Well, you're going to come to EGX later on. I think, Indy, are you going to go to Resd?
Wait a minute.
Are you wanting to do EGX Resd? No, see, there's two actually. So Resd is the indie, and it's usually early in the year, and then follow up. EGX, the full EGX, is later on in the year, usually around October time.
Oh, okay.
So I'm definitely going to EGX, but there's Resd earlier in the year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm talking about Resd. See, yeah,
last
I
time
knew what Indy was talking about.
Last time I went there was years ago, and EGX was called Eurogamer, and it was a really small place compared to what it is now. I can't remember where it was in London. I went with my family and that, and it was called Eurogamer. It's the same convention, but now it's on a far bigger scale. There was only like 2 or 3 floors, but it wasn't massive. It was tiny. There's hardly any queues. You just got in. Now there's a queue to get in, massive queue around the corner in there to get in. So am I wrong? I haven't been.
What to
EGX? Is
EGX?
Is it big queues to get in?
There are some big queues. It depends on what type of ticket you've got. I don't think I had too much of an issue with the queues, but it does get busy.
Yeah, I went when it first started. It was actually just called Eurogamer back then.
Eurogamer.
The last time I went, I can't even remember what bloody year it was. I think it was a bloody long while. It was a long while ago. Yeah. It was.
Well, Indy, yeah, I'm trying to get it together to see for those in the UK, especially the BG4G, if we can try and rally everybody into coming to the EGX in October, and then we can all get together and have a bit of a laugh with it. So that's what I'm trying to sort out. There you go.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sounds. Oh, thanks for coming on Masked. It's been really.
No, thanks for having me on, Stubzy.
Do you want to plug your stuff?
Right, okay, yeah, I will do. Yeah. Thank you. So Masked Mayhem UK, find me on Twitter under Masked Mayhem UK, on Twitch as Masked Mayhem UK, and then, but mainly, I'd like everybody to follow BG4G Hub. So it's www.bg4ghub.com or BG4G Hub at Twitter, and it's the name everywhere. So if you don't want to do the search, but make sure it's the hub. And check it out. Check out the great content created by these guys that have come on board with me. So UK Dazra, Stubz Gaming, Jeepers Review, Tom Wild, Tyrus, Pizzles, Zemi Gaming, Centurion, Craig, so that's Xbox Jesus, and Michael Monkey's on there as well. We're all there together. Check us out. We stream, we do reviews, we do opinion pieces. We're always on Twitter for everybody. Just hit us up, say hi, or join us. And if anyone wants to join us and be, and thinks that they'd like to do some content creation, especially in the gaming for us, then feel free to send us an email or come and join us and have a chat and send us your bits. And yeah, we're looking for more content creators and people to join in. Just get involved, everyone. And thanks for listening.
Oh, definitely.
And thank you, Stubzy. Thank you for the time.
Thank you for coming on the Stubzcast. It's been a pleasure. It has. Next week, shall I do it myself or not? What do you reckon?
So, what does everyone in chat think? Do you think Stubzy should
or do you reckon I should wait?
Himself, have a word with himself? Do you think Stubzy should have a word with himself?
Or do you reckon I should just?
I mean, the vote on Twitter was that you did it, and then you kind of tried to cop out by saying it's too soon. You need to do it later on. I think you should do the interview with yourself, or you get someone to interview you.
I was going to get Tom to do it, and Tom reckons he's busy next week.
Next Saturday as well. I am as well. So unfortunately, I can't do it for you. I'm not around. So we'll have to find someone. Dazzy, what are you up to next Saturday?
I don't know if Daz can use. I don't know if Daz can use a StreamYard because he just
talk to yourself, Stubbs.
I can't talk to myself.
Indy, what are you doing next Saturday?
I'll have Indy on, and Indy can just do the podcast. We can. I'm not interviewing.
No, I think this is how we do it. No, Indy has to interview you. He's not allowed to answer any questions. That's how we should do it. So that's even more of a challenge for you. Plus, you're not allowed to mention the word gears at all through the entire hour and a half. If
you're asking me about content creation, that might be a bit hard.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to.
Let's put it out on YouTube. On YouTube, let's put it out on Twitter. Let's see who wants to interview Stubzy.
Yeah, we'll have to see about next week. We'll
have to see. I mean, hopefully if you're not going to do it, at least do it in the next one after that. But I think you should see who you can get on. I would gladly sit and ask you questions, Stubzy, but I think unfortunately I'm not available next week.
The one not next week. The one after that is I've got the YouTuber Filthy Wybot from Australia on.
Tom's had an amazing idea. I'll happy to do it, but I think you should have your wife interview you.
Shit, that's never going to happen. Never. In a million years. I'm telling you now. We will sort it for the next few weeks. We will.
Put a poll up. Yeah, we'll have a poll. We'll have to see. We'll chat.
Get more people to vote. I got like 10 people voting, you know.
But who's going to interview you? We'll get more.
Oh, exactly. I'll get Boom on to interview me. I'm joking.
It's not a bad shout.
But no, yeah. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I know some of you might be dying to get onto Ran We're competing with Rand at the minute.
Oh, yeah. No, let's go.
Oh.
I'll go listen to Rand.
Yeah.
Hurry up, Stubsy.
Right.
Wrap it up, man.
Right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to the people that listen in podcast form on Spotify, all your normal podcast networks. If you'd like to drop a like, that would be appreciated, and subscribe. I would really appreciate that on the channel. And thank you for tuning in as always. All right, thanks. Stubbs
Cheers,
Gaming
guys.
out. All right, thanks.
TTF.